to bring together all, not only the brightest minds, but also the champions in life who reflect the best values of integrity, of sport, and how sport can be such a powerful instrument for the future, for the community, for sport, for business, and for entrepreneurship. But of course, there are a lot of challenges, and there are lessons we have learned in our journey as entrepreneurs, but coming with the sport in heart and in mind as well, we have managed, and the distinguished panelists, speakers in this panel have a lot to show about their journey and their concrete lessons, advice, constatations, and maybe inspirations that they have in their everyday life and work with regards to sport entrepreneurship, startup, and the way how we can and they continue to shaping sport integrity now and in the future. I will give the floor to every one of them with pleasure to make an introduction so that you get to know personally a glimpse of every one of them, because of course we have the bios written, and you'll just have a quick personal touch from everyone and their thought about this topic and how we are going to gladly share our thoughts with you, dear public, on how startups and entrepreneurs think and do to shape the sport integrity. Welcome once again, dear gentlemen, and Ishvin. And I give the floor to Jake first to introduce himself. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's great to be here at SIGA's event, so I'm very excited about that. My name is Jake Kelfer, and I am the founder of the Professional Basketball Combine. And the Professional Basketball Combine is a secondary NBA draft combine that was designed to help give exposure and opportunity to players who want to turn their dreams of playing pro basketball into their reality. And over the course of the 3 years since we started our event, we've had over 70 players come through our event, with over 99% of players signing pro contracts in the NBA and over 30 countries worldwide. So it's been an incredible journey to be able to be part of shaping the basketball landscape across the globe, and also to be able to work with so many incredible athletes and people throughout our program. So very excited to be a part of this panel and hopefully drop a couple value bombs for you guys throughout this next 45 minutes.
I definitely believe that you will embrace this challenge and you will survive it, Jake. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the contribution you put in the world with your everyday effort. Thank you. I would give the floor to Ishvin to introduce herself now with pleasure. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much. So good to be here. So my name's Ishvin Anand. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Open Sponsorship. We're the largest marketplace connecting brands to professional athletes for marketing purposes. And I think integrity is a great topic and one that startups have to embrace. For us, I would actually say that our motto of building like the most transparent place to transact within the sponsorship ecosystem kind of comes off the back of integrity. We found that too many people kind of didn't understand the sponsorship landscape, or they were being ripped off, or they just weren't entering it because they thought it was inaccessible or lack of transparency. And so for us, kind of delivering the world a really transparent way to get deals done and an efficient, effective way is key. And so really excited to be talking about this topic.
I as well, my background, I come from a sporting career as table tennis national champion in my country and have been the champion of the national team. But then after graduating business administration, I got the master's degree in the Olympic marketing sponsorship as well. So with 5 Olympic campaigns, marketing Olympic campaigns under my belt, let's say, I have had the opportunity to be a testimony of what a wonderful world is the sport world for the people and the athletes that love sport. But after they finish sporting career, huge opportunities in this universe of sport and marketing and sponsorship and projects can come out. So I definitely am very sure that we will have a great synergy together in this panel. And if you allow me, I will give the floor to Louis Sahat for introducing himself. Thank you, Ishvin.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So yes, I'm a former player, mainly in England, but I started in France. And since 2015, I'm the founder of Axis Stars, which platform is going to help the players or athletes and artists to be in a safe ecosystem, a bit similar as Ishvin has done. But we try to make sure that they only face the right people with the right kind of like integrity and transparency in the way they work, to make sure that those who have a great influence, they can like represent great values. They can do it the best way when they transit, because they have better people around them. So that's ecosystem is going to help those guys to really take the opportunity to the next level and educate themselves. So this is the way of like doing the integrity bit. So that's why I think it's very important for me to be part of this panel, because we really want to share ideas and really want to contribute to that amazing topic.
Thank you very much, Ray. It's a delight and a pleasure to have you, who you know personally very well the both sides of the medal, being in the field and then being someone who can create opportunities or create that safe environment in such a challenging world with regards to the athletes coming new as ex-athletes and entering the professional world in management. So thank you also for your contribution worldwide, not only for this panel. Thank you. And last but not least, on purpose, I decided to leave the floor to Igor, because he also had the birthday yesterday. And on behalf of SIGA Youth Forum and us as a panel, I'd like to congratulate him for his birthday and wish many happy returns of the day. So now, Igor, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you very much. And this is a very cool way to celebrate. So my name is Igor Kadalicic, and I am the co-founder and co-CEO of Monarch. We invented the Seeker, a robotic quarterback for American football. We say robotic because it allows athletes to train alone for the first time ever in American football. We pair several different technologies, including tracking. Our machine actually knows where players are and is able to interact with them by themselves. So one of our motivation in doing this at the very beginning was seeing a lot of athletes who didn't have access to quarterbacks, people who were motivated but didn't have an opportunity to train alone. And I think everyone here can speak to how many different athletes you come across who really have what it takes, but really aren't granted the right opportunity. So we wanted to do something about that. I think this is an incredible event that's being put on here, and I think that there's so much to draw from all of this. But I think my angle specifically is in regards to the technology and a lot of the different things that are going into this, and a lot of companies that are doing really great work.
Thank you for being here with us, and thank you also for this universe or this horizon of the digital world that it can impact, improve, and enhance the performance of sport and sport people because of what the solutions you thought, you visualized, and you made possible. So, and we can understand how great of synergy we can create by the different topic that we will help shape a more holistic perspective for youth on the world of sport and of sport integrity. I would like to say that this our panel, also for the public following us and who will review this panel, needs to put the emphasis on the fact that it takes vision, it takes desire, faith, commitment, and dedication, and tremendous amounts of hard work to start a thriving business within the sports industry, which every one of you has done. It becomes exponentially harder when sport integrity is a core facet of that strategy. So we will try to showcase some inspiring individuals. So I believe the public is already inspired by what you introduced and what you do and how you do it. And we will talk about this in the upcoming minutes. I would like to, for your contribution and also for the contribution to the public, to refer to the SIGA Sport Integrity Goals, which actually are good governance, outstanding ethical conduct, accountability, legality, and scrutiny. So in your startups, in base of these goals of integrity of SIGA, sport integrity goals, we can have now our conversation on our lively discussion on the fact that what is your experience and what is your advice that you have would like to share with the youth with regards to what is to be a business and how sport integrity can be a limitation or another advantage in the world that you operate? Whoever would like to take the floor.
So I'll go first. I'll just start us off. I think, look, I think integrity plays a big role. And for us, one of the biggest pieces of our business and of our motto is relationships are everything. And our ability to build great relationships with agents, with teams, with players, with brands, a lot of that comes from our transparency and our integrity. And in order to build great relationships, we have to set the foundation, set the example for the athletes that we are going to help get to that next level. And so I'll be the first to say, and we've all experienced this, building a business and in sports is very challenging. But when you have the right relationships, when you connect with the right people and you do so in an authentic way, both for yourself and that is received by others, you're going to be able to make great progress, ultimately advancing your objective, which in turn should be able to create opportunities for yourself and for the people that you aim to serve. So integrity, hands down, has played a big role into our success because we've been able to build the relationships, and now we have the trust in the community and in the public to be able to execute on what we say we're going to execute on. And that's allowed us to be pretty potent in the work that we do and efficient.
Thank you very much, Jake. That's very valuable insight provided. Thank you.
I can jump on it in a way that trying to explain, even on my side, because I've been a former player, I would have expect so much, let's say, obvious support, obvious understanding, because if I say my own story, you expect that the people who are like the organization to actually improve things a bit quicker. But integrity for them takes commitment, sacrifice as well, because there is a lot of like commercial aspect that I couldn't really understand at first. You know, for me, it's obvious. You know, you need to have the players. You know, you need to have the actual fans, or you need to help the whoever to actually understand that you need to be, you know, the more transparent possible, or the most safe, all those things. And I understood that basically it was not that easy, you know. But first, like, build the trust, as you mentioned, Jose. It's like, you know, you have like that kind of like dedication, and it takes a lot of time to make sure that people understand what you are about. And it was, I think, even for me who come from like football, for example, I expect that the people in my football industry will have understood straight away. But it takes a lot of like effort for actually have the right communication to make them like push and support you the right way. So all those things is like, I realized that like building the starters was not enough. It's just like build like the momentum, the brand, the actual understanding of your communication, how you use the experience that you have. All those things is a combo that you have to really master. And I thought that it was a very how you say this exciting journey, and the same way that I was learning. I was like learning every day those challenges and how to actually understand the little games sometimes like organizations are playing, or sponsors are playing, or people who are around the players are playing, because there is like a proper games where you understand their own journey, their own agenda, and you really need to understand that to actually say, okay, that's what he needs for him to actually operate. And those are things now we are trying to really work in hard to actually ease the access of those information, because this is where you can educate. Because if people don't understand the game, don't understand the actual impact of commercial or legal or all those restrictions and all that, it's really hard to go forward and to ask just integrity. People are smart, you know. People are really smart. The ones that are above and decide to make the changes, they are smart to slow the process, to keep the power, you know, and all those things. And I think that's why all those panels that we do and what SIGA is doing is try to bring all that knowledge together. And this is where we're going to bring the education and then the integrity. So that process is quite a long journey, but it's very exciting.
Very exciting. Absolutely. Thank you, Luis. Yeah, Isrin?
Yeah, thanks. So I think I can add to that from a bit of my experience. I was a management consultant and then I entered the sports world. And I think one thing that I found was, so, speaking directly to the youth, was there was this kind of understanding that to work in sports, like the professionalism level didn't need to be there. And it was okay if you just love sports or if you had relationships. And I think what I would emphasize, I think integrity comes from like doing the right thing, being a true professional, whether it's like replying to emails or, having good language, no typos. And I know it sounds basic stuff, but as someone building a startup, one of my primary things is, we work in the sports industry, but that doesn't matter. We're a company, we're a technology company. We have to act like other technology companies, whether we're selling athletes or anything in the world. Your professionalism has to be there. Your sense of trust, that people thinking that you are, you're a true professional and that you're educated and everything else. And so I think for me, one of the biggest things about sports industry is it's not enough just to love the industry and be passionate about it, but to go up every day being a true professional.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Ishvin. Igor?
I think that the world has never been more connected than it is now. And I think just the fact that we're having this conversation on this platform is kind of a testament to that. And I think all of the other co-founders here, they've created platforms that connect people even further. I think right now technology is something that will play a really big role in providing visibility and objectivity to sports. I think that that's something that our team here is really excited about. And I think that there is enormous opportunity. I think in this industry compared to some of the other industries that are more established, there's so much more work to be done here. And I think, yes, that's why SIGA exists. But at the same time, I think that it's really exciting because to all the youth who are listening to this, whatever your passion is, there's a spot for you in this industry, and there's a way for you to create that path on your own. I'd say, it's just speaking for myself, I studied mechanical engineering. I love machines. I love programming. I love good design. And there was, in this industry, there was a spot for somebody of this skill set. And I think every day we're driven by, the athletes that we work with. And it's so inspiring when you see someone who is just so dedicated to what they're doing. They're putting in the hours, they're going above and beyond. And I think that passion for sports really binds us. I think that it makes it really exciting, but also, again, just the sheer amount of opportunity here is super encouraging.
I agree totally. While every one of you were really sharing their perspective and the concept and the passion, it was one thought that came in my mind. The fact that, as Ishvin also said, that it's not enough just to be passionate and to be the best and to work on that. And I wanted to make an open question for the four of you with regards that, is there any role for the athletes you represent in the success or in the failure of your efforts, of your mission, of what you do? Or athletes might think that if they get involved with you, they are all protected and all the responsibility is yours and they are safe now, they can do whatever because someone else is taking care of them. I just think that maybe it's a good moment that we can make aware of the public that when they engage with the professionals like you, with your dreams, when you open opportunities for them, be it those internships, be it communication, be it representation of them, to remind them if there is anything that they can contribute or should protect, that the integrity of this relationship and of this company doesn't go weakened. Thank you. I was understood, or?
I think
yeah,
so, yeah.
I think, so I suppose I could kick off. I think the athletes have a huge part to play on their side, probably for all of us to hold up their end of the bargain. I think each one of us is providing a fairly niche service to value add to the athlete life. So, training or whatever it may be. For our side, it's sponsorship, but that only comes, we've been in the middle of deals. We had an athlete recently in the middle of a deal with Foot Locker, and halfway through the deal, he ends up on the front of TMZ for bad behavior, and deal gets cancelled, and there's nothing that we can do, and it's not up to us. And so I would say, I think athletes themselves, I think our job is to make sure that the athletes who are doing a great job are rewarded, right? And they might not be the most famous, that have the highest following on social media, but if for us, if they're great content creators, if they're great brand ambassadors, we want to partner with them. And so, I think there's a huge part on our part to just not only go after the biggest names, but the best who we want to represent, and that they have to hold up their side of the bargain as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of players, let's say a lot of athletes, not totally understand all those factors. They may see like a part where it's like maybe signing a contract or represent during the campaign of your deals or whatever, like in the training. We understand, because I put myself in it. This is my own experience. We understand some part of it, and what we're trying to do to make sure that everything is like done in a way that we can like provide more values to the world, like having those guys understand the impact of when they speak on social or what they do outside, because they are kind of icons and they don't totally understand. So when you do then the sponsorship, they will understand the actual authenticity when they do something. But they are like so accustomed to listen to someone who tell them what to do, where to go, how to speak, and all that. They don't learn. They don't really get that understanding. And if it's not like mandatory, most of them don't do it, because as human, you get easy about doing things, and you say, oh, okay, my guy is doing all for me, and my club is like providing me the transport, and that's it. So what we're trying to do with like all those nice partners is to make sure that we facilitate this access in a way that we provide some kind of understanding where they want it, when they want it, how they want it. We try to facilitate all that, because the access of it is difficult. The information being relevant, as Igor said, yes, we all connected. It's true. It's easier. Digital allow that. But at the same time, there is too much info out there. It's just like spread everywhere. And, it's really hard to trust who to speak to and all those things. So yes, it's good when you have like a good panel where like we know those guys has been recognized to be really good and really professional. But this is exactly what we're trying to provide. A place where it's safer to talk than it is outside, where internet can provide you pretty much everything. And this is really hard to get. And this is where we're going to get the integrity when, like, I'm not trying to compare or try to blame Facebook or all those like big platforms. It's great what they do, but on the same time, it's really hard. And that's why they're trying to be a bit more precise in what they do, because it's really hard to educate yourself. So that's where integrity, it's about how to educate and create the information to get a nice understanding of what is good, what provides results, and so on.
And what also provides value to the society and to the economy as well. Igor, if you'd like to comment.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would say integrity isn't just integrity towards other people, but integrity towards yourself and understanding what your priorities are. In my experience, the athletes that have really excelled are the athletes that treat their job like a job. Ishvin mentions professionalism, and professionalism isn't showing up in a suit. It's treating your priorities as priorities. And that means, when the season ends, what do you do? There's so many of these young athletes, they get their first big paycheck, and everybody, it's about catching up for lost time, but it's not. It's about putting in, the additional time to really get you to where you need to go. I think treating it like a business, having a freshman mentality where you are always looking to grow. The athletes that go the furthest are the ones that have that in mind. So when the season ends, it's not about taking time off and taking vacation, going on holiday. It's about what do you do the next day? How do you treat yourself? Is this a job, or is this something that you're just looking to get paid? I think that this extends to kind of every facet of their lives. So if you as an athlete, if you're looking to go from sports into business, that mentality again of treating your priorities as priorities has to be something that you carry with you your entire life in every aspect of everything that you do.
Definitely. I would like to ask, considering the fact when you thought of the idea of starting up your idea and your business, did you think that because it was a sport world or coming from sport field, that should be some sympathy that would allow for less of a standard or lack of professionalism somewhere because there was sympathy, or how can I say, solidarity? Like, did the world that you entered allowed for compromise of your values so that you could gain success?
So for us with the Pro Basketball Combine, I think something that's really important is we work with college athletes going from amateur status to pro status. And one of the biggest challenges and one of the biggest things that we had to take into account is if a player attends our event and at what level and what year and where were they declared, and with the rules always changing in the NBA pre-draft process, are they going to be able to return back to school? Can they sign with an agent? Can they enter the draft? And there's all types of rules and regulation. And so in terms of our event, one of the most important things that we could do is be transparent with how we approach these different situations. Because if we were to put somebody's eligibility at risk, that would be a bad look on organization, but also we do this to provide opportunities. And at the fundamental core, if we are not providing someone an opportunity, but rather we're putting them in a position of scarcity or a position of worry or a position of not being able to perform at their best, we're actually doing a disservice to them. And so for us, one of the big things that we really try to work on is we hold ourselves to a higher standard than anything that's expected, because we know what's at stake. And our whole mission is to turn dreams into reality. And so we do that by giving players the platform and expecting them to show up, expecting them to be open with the communication, and expecting them to come ready to win.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Jake. Luis?
I explained a bit my story when I just starting up. I find that the journey would have been easier because I thought that I knew exactly the story. I knew exactly what those people felt, and for that, people would have taken seriously what I was saying. But it was not the case. They needed to show that I was not maybe ready to change the business model, or you need to see that I was prepared to sacrifice a lot, or stuff like this. So I call it like stress testing in some way. So see how far I was concerned about that topic, about what I wanted to do, help the players, and try to transfer my knowledge and try to actually in some way, change the mentality of an industry and the way it conducts itself, because they say it's professional, but I'm telling you it's not, because I felt like, from all the years, it should have been sorted. So those people who are struggling, who was not maybe able to identify the right people, the right support, to not making mistakes, is still not on today. So why that? So I couldn't understand. And as I said, I explained to you, I'm starting to question a lot of people. 1,000 people have been interviewed, partners and all those things, organization that's supposed to help. I tied with contracts, with things that you don't totally understand, and all those things were a surprise and allowed me to educate myself and then get that in my DNA and understanding exactly that I need to partner myself with people like Ishvin or Jake or Igor, or people that have that knowledge and have different roads, and from that, maybe organization who need to change things will understand, because yes, we prepare to actually go all the way and bring the strength all together in the same mission. So all those things for me is part of my passion today.
But as entering the startup world, has it been a moment for you and also for you, dear colleagues, where you were faced with the challenge of ethical dilemma that maybe in short term would represent an opportunity of benefits, but then you had to step back because of the values you believe in as a startup entrepreneur?
Yeah. yeah, for the integrity part, you know, when I come with my same mentality that I was a player, I knew that I need to adapt, because if I come and like I was like really authentic and strong, and I can't do that in an office. I have to listen and I have to respect them, because if you try to teach some like grown-up men, they don't like it. So we have to understand the man management, how you control the ego of things, you know, and all those discussion allowed me to understand that. And now I can press the right button and say, this is how I do it. And sport environments, it's a lot of ego, and sometimes you can't show weaknesses. So those people as well understand that. So as a startup, I really felt like it was really tough for me for that, because in terms of delay as well, I used to train really hard, and then on the weekend I could be proving that I was good and I could score goals or something like this. So I had the results straight away. In business, it's not the same. You know, you go about and you have to do a lot of things, a lot of research. It's a long process. So all those things were really useful, and I think that from the startup and now it's a different man as well.
I would say.
Thank you very much.
No, sorry. I was gonna just chime in very quickly for I wanted to echo what Jake was saying earlier, that this is a business of relationships, maybe more so than other industries. So to answer the prompt, I don't think that we had a challenge necessarily in terms of a hard ethical conflict where we were, you know, wondering whether to do the right thing or, you know, the wrong thing and get a payout. But I do think that it's a mentality that you have to have with every single interaction, where if I'm selling a product, it means a lot less for me to talk about my product versus my customer to talk about, you know, our product and our service, and to say, you know, they were honest with their pricing, they were excellent, you know, they really delivered what they promised and then some. So I think every single interaction is really critical, and I think that it's something that you do have to maintain. It's not something that, you know, there's going to be a crossroad, you know, this imaginary thing where you come to this point where you have to make these hard decisions. It really is a day-to-day thing, and every interaction is important.
Yeah, very much appreciated. Hijvin?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think one of the hardest things about being a startup is you create a company to disrupt something, right? Otherwise, you would obviously just go and join an existing situation going on. And so sports is pretty heavily regulated, right? So you have like NBA, NBPA, retired NBA, you know, you've got like WNBA, like there's so many people already trying to, you know, get involved. And one, you know, a story that we had was at the beginning when we launched, every athlete is surrounded by a whole community of people, right? There's not just one agent, right? They can have an off-field, on-field, they can have a PR, a marketing, a best friend, a father, anyone and everyone can bring them deals and opportunities and whatever else. And so we took the call that anyone could sign up to our platform who represented the player. And, you know, and that's not usually often the contract agent who wouldn't ever bring the athlete a very small deal, even if the athlete would be quite happy with it. And that caused a lot of frustration for people at the beginning, because, you know, the PAs were like, well, this is the way we've always done things, and, you know, whatever else. And so it's not like a lack of integrity or anything like that. But I think sometimes as a startup, you have to take risks. You have to do something a different way to break through. Because if I was only ever going to work with the official agent, then basically there's no difference between me and any other PA. And we know the problem there is that they're not really incentivized to do, you know, and so like I absolutely love Access Stars, so Lewis's platform, and they're just another trusted voice for the athlete. And so that created a beautiful combination where you're a trusted voice, we're a great partner, so let's create something together. That wouldn't have happened if we thought, well, we have to always follow the official channels, and it can be intimidating to not always go through the official bodies, and everyone always wants to just, you know, do the same thing, like let me get an official partnership with, you know, the league. But that can actually hinder growth as a startup, where sometimes it's okay to be on the outside until you're ready to be on the inside. So, you know, just a different angle of like the kind of difficulties you have and the kind of calls you have to make early on, which can define your success.
Yeah, in terms of integrity, that's maybe I didn't totally understand the actual topic first, but it's true that yes, on the way that we had to pick the right partners, we had to pick the right people who can help, and we couldn't take some money from investment. We couldn't partner with like some organization who wanted to actually not bribe us, but say that it have to be like exclusive deals or something like this, where we really want to give the choice to everybody. So all those things where straight away, as I was saying, like the stress testing is like those people needed to understand that we are here to really help. We're not here to replace agent or be some kind of partner who's going to change the business model because we want to make money. That we will be another agency, or this is not what we're trying to provide here. So this kind of integrity is within us as a citizen. You know, we have like maybe a desire to make a living, but in the same way, we are very passionate about this industry and the way we see it, the vision, as you mentioned. I think like it's really important for me to work with people who have the same vision. If you are here to slow me down or to like make the actual vision a bit unclear, I want partners. It's not about integrity. It's just about like how I feel. Really, it's like the feeling that those memories from being a player. I just don't want to replicate something like this. I want something like less institutional, because institution has like a benefit of security, credibility, and all that. But as Ishvin said, it's very rigid. Sometimes the process is long, and it doesn't bring you the actual benefit that you expect from some stuff like this. So yes, there is like the flexibility that we need to do, and in the same way you need to be like very careful about who you partner with, because yeah, it's like a wedding, and if you mess up on the choice, you're in trouble.
Definitely. Thank you very much also for this very useful, insightful information that you shared with us. I would like also to leave this opportunity for the youth that are following us today, or they will whenever they see this replay, on the fact that you as a startup and as entrepreneurs can share what would be 3 qualities that you would look for the people or the partners, that youngsters that you would eventually give the opportunity for internship, or maybe to join a project or an ad hoc project or your company now and in the future?
So I'll chime in. For us in our company, it's integrity, creativity, and passion. Integrity, I think, it really boils down to 2 things. You can kind of divide it. It's honesty and humility. I think being honest about situations that arise and what you're seeing as reality, I think, is really critical to making good decisions in a business. And then humility, you know, when we're talking about integrity, is about being open to receiving criticism and growth. And so for us, it's those 3.
Spot on.
Thank you very much.
I could say, so for us, especially towards young people, we love hiring young and, you know, hungry people. But a couple of the qualities that we really look for are self-starters. I think startups are not very good training grounds. You know, we don't have like 2 months worth of classes to teach you everything you should know. It's pretty learn on the job. So self-starters, people who can you know, that right combination of being very accountable, which I know was one of the integrity things. So, you know, having your own accountability internally, externally, but also being able to ask the right questions. You know, there are good questions and there are bad questions, and being able to kind of differentiate those 2. And now in this new COVID world where we're hiring remote, I would actually say maturity is a big thing. You know, there's no one sitting next to you going, hey, what are you doing? Like, do you need to work? And I think you can sense that, like, who are the people who are just gonna get their head down. And so the skill set is not as important as the ability. And if you want to work in a startup, you got to be mature and just be able to figure things out and ask the right questions.
Yeah, I love what you guys have both said so far. For us, and I look at some of the interns that we've had that have gone on to get incredible jobs or work with organizations and teams. Some of the most successful qualities that we look for is, first of all, you got to be coachable. Just like the athletes we work with, we expect our interns and our team to be coachable, to receive feedback, to be able to implement what we learn and take that feedback and turn it into an advantage for us as an organization. We also really look for people that are problem solvers. So people similar to self-starting, but people that are, when something comes up, are they just going to go straight to me or to a director of scouting to just get the answer? Or are they going to use Google and figure it out? And I think that's a skill, especially in the digital economy right now, that is super, super valuable. Is, can you solve problems? And can you become better every single day? And then the last thing that I look for, and I've mentioned relationships in several of my answers, is that can you talk to people? Can you communicate? Can you express what it is that you're trying to say without spending 25 minutes getting to the point? Can you ask right questions? Can you listen to people authentically? And can you elicit feelings of emotions from other people that enable us to build true relationships to advance the mission of the Pro Basketball Combine?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think I don't have to add anything. You have the perfect internet. Yeah, I think the thing that sometimes I do look at people, anyone, it's like if they are entrepreneurs in their mentality, so they really like looking for ideas and try to be part of the actual journey. Really, they anticipate as well, as much as. There is no roles and no position, it's like you have like the same kind of like freedom to speak and be able to actually like help us in some way. It's like solving problems in the same way, it's been self-starters in the same way. So all this is like a combination, like having that humility. So it's a real package to be an entrepreneur. You can't have like so much ego deciding your decision. So all those things make sense, and this is where I think the word entrepreneur for me is a bit of that. I feel like he's more an entrepreneur that's going to take decision. Yes, I like that.
Such a beautiful message and very useful insight, I think. Again, I think of the youth that maybe they are curious to see what is the SIGA Youth Forum, and some young might be thinking that let's see what I missed. And imagine the aha moment when they understand that to work with the best, you don't necessarily has to be a prodigy in your field or to have that skills already learned, but as long as you are a person with responsibility, with values that believe in contributing to a mission, the doors are open for opportunities to knock. So I want to really thank you for this, creating this welcoming and encouraging moment for every young that will happen to listen to our session or record it later on. We have kind of 5 more minutes, and I will ask you another question, and then I'd like to also ask you what is a message you would leave or would want to give, a final advice or a final message for the conclusion of this webinar session. The question is, if you would go back, is there anything that you would do differently in your journey?
I don't think you can say you're an entrepreneur if you've not made 100 mistakes.
Yeah, I think we speak for all of us off of that. What Ishvin has said is we all make tons of mistakes. I think one of the biggest things for me is no matter how much success we want to have or no matter how much disruption we want to create, we have to find a way to enjoy the process. We have to find a way to enjoy the journey. And as an entrepreneur, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. And there's going to be times where we're like, this is the greatest thing in the world. We're changing the world. And there are going to be times where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going bankrupt. This is never going to happen. What's going on? But at the same time, if we can be grateful for the opportunity, be grateful for the process, and really enjoy ourselves, we're gonna be all right, and we're gonna be able to inspire others to buy into what we're doing as well. So mistakes are part of the journey, but when we make those mistakes, we can learn from them and we can keep going.
Fantastic for encouraging that, Luis.
Yeah, that's great, because you have 2 ways. When you have like a bad moment, I think I always say to myself that it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn. I will actually like use this as like his fear. Fear is bring courage. If you don't have like fear, you don't have courage. So every single thing that you have in your way as an entrepreneur is an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to get better and avoid it at some point the next time around. So all those things are like positiveness, like bring like that kind of like desire to work hard and not like being scared about what's coming next, because if you have that mentality, you take it in the right way. So this is like, yes, you accept the mistakes, you accept the criticism because it's part of the learning process.
Yeah, I also I wouldn't change anything. I think sometimes you need to make your own mistakes, and I think everything that we've done, we grew from. I don't think that we would be the company that we are right now if we hadn't done all those things. So I think that we really embrace, if we're going to say our emotional scars, I think it's part of who we are.
Definitely. So did every one of you give the message that wanted to leave, or it was both combined with the response on the fact that they embrace your mistakes and that every one of the public can understand that this is part of the journey and mistakes are part of the normality, and not to be discouraged about that. I would say that during the day today, I read a quote, and it made me think and smile, because actually it was done many years ago, not on these days, but it was so actual. And it said, it was for kids, but now I want to make a parallel with the moment we are today. And it said, the children have so many challenges to get educated because they like the models. They like the, how can I say, the adults who are failing to provide the right examples. So I can imagine our responsibility as entrepreneurs, as startuppers, as creating vision and paving roads on the fact that if our example, it's not a perfect one, but it's a good one, we are already contributing to the world. And I believe we can contribute to the youth for our journey, with our traces, with what we believe, with our mistakes, so that they can understand that whatever life brings, there are great examples of integrity, of success, of overcoming challenges, or of breakthroughs that can inspire them. And on behalf of SIGA Youth Forum and Stand with SIGA campaign, I really want to thank you for everything that you contributed from heart and from mind and with passion and enthusiasm in this panel. And personally for me, it was a privilege, and I say it's a great opportunity to get to know in moments like this, people interact and network. So immediately I am richer than I was an hour ago before meeting you and talking with you. And for that, I'd like to finish with a final message from SIGA and on my behalf, that startup and entrepreneurs play a pivotal role. They challenge the odds, they innovate and take risks. So keep going, pushing the industry forward and holding it accountable. And this is a message for you. So actions speak louder than words, and the sporting industry must walk the talk. And stand with the SIGA. Thank you.
Well done.